Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me today on Wednesday, June, not January. It's 2 days in a row. I don't know the month it is. On June 5th, just about 2:45 p.m. I was thinking, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to talk about today. But then the UFL is just like, hey, what if we just gave you right now? What if we just gave you the All-UFL team? What if we did that for you? So we got that, and we're going to talk about that. But first, I remembered that earlier on this week, I mentioned that people were saying it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. And I said, no, that's not the case. And I knew that there were numbers that backed me up, but I couldn't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I got the numbers for you. I got the numbers in my little handy-dandy notebook, my little Blues Clues thing going on here. So the reason, and this is all NFL numbers, not UFL numbers, but football's football, and they could probably closely relate to this. Okay, so a team would play a team 3 times in one season. It would be a team playing a divisional opponent, and then them playing that divisional opponent again in the playoffs. And these numbers that I got are since the merger of the NFC and the AFC, in whatever year was that, like 1970 or 1960? I can't remember what year that was. But this has happened 25 times. And in those 25 games, teams that are going for a 3-game sweep of an opponent, are 16-9. Again, teams are 16-9 against teams when they are playing for a 3-game sweep in a season. That is 64% of the games that they win, which is very incredible. That's very incredible. That's up there, not because it's not skewed because this is based on the performance throughout a season. The only other number that I know that is like that skewed in the NFL is whenever a team is on a 3 consecutive game road stretch. On that third game, an NFL team will only win that game 38.1% of the time. So it's a very skewed number. So this is a deservedly skewed number because that other example is based on scheduling that the NFL fucks over teams. But 16-9 teams are when they're playing for that sweep. The other number that I have written here is 14-5 because that 16-9, that's the total number. That is 25 games. 6 of those games have been a team is playing to sweep a team, but they're playing an away game, which is like it's only happened 6 times out of these 25 times, so it's even rarer than playing for a 3-game sweep. But so 19 of those 25 games, the team playing for the sweep is playing at home, which is what the Battlehawks are doing this weekend. And teams that are playing at home for a 3-game sweep are 14-5, which is 73%. They win 73% of those games. So if you hear anybody talking like, man, it's going to be hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, here are the numbers I want you to know. Teams that are playing for a 3-game sweep are 16-9, meaning they win 64% of the time. And when they're playing for a 3-game sweep at home, they are 14-5, meaning they win 73% of the time. So that is where we're at with that. Bada bing, bada boom, every single time. I know at some point in these shows, you're like, man, that Jake is a real dipshit. But look at me. Look at me with the numbers. Fuck you. You think I'm dumb? Probably warranted most of the time, honestly. Probably fairly warranted. But this time, your boy knows numbers. Okay, so let's get into this UFL inaugural All-UFL team. The UFL released it today in a press release on Twitter. It says the United Football League today announced its inaugural All-UFL team. All 8 UFL teams were represented among the All-League selections, with the Michigan Panthers taking a league-high 7 All-UFL honors. So on offense, the 2024 All-UFL team, obviously the quarterback is going to be Adrian Martinez from the Birmingham Stallions. He's been better than A.J. McCarron this year. That's just the facts. Adrian Martinez was always going to take this one away. The running back, the All-UFL running back, baby, Ka-KAW of the Week winner, 2-time Ka-KAW of the Week winner, and best run of the season haver, Jacob Sailors. Jacob Sailors is the all-UFL running back. I love to see that. Wide receiver, all-UFL wide receivers. Who's that? Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler, number 1. The first name listed. First name listed is the all-UFL wide receiver. Then it is Dawood Davis from the Memphis Showboats and Marcus Sims from the Michigan Panthers. There's a good chance that they just looked at these numbers, or they looked at like which receiver had the longest touchdown and kind of went chalk with that, because it's Dawood Davis and Hakeem Butler. And that, sure, if it makes our guy number 1, fuck it. I'm all for it. Skew your numbers however you want to skew them. I don't know why they didn't put. Well, I do know why the John Trey Kirkland, the guy from the Brahmas, is really good, but he did just have his best game of the season in Week 10. He hasn't been like overwhelmingly dominant like Hakeem Butler has been. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to see Hakeem Butler number 1, because these last 2 weeks have been very quiet for him, like I said. Tight end is Jace Sternberger from the Stallions. That one kind of makes sense. He's been pretty good. Watching him, not pretty, but yeah, he's been good. He's been the best tight end in the UFL, kind of by a long shot. It's an underutilized position in most offenses, so it was not exactly a high bar to clear, but he has been playing very well. Offensive tackle, the 2 offensive tackles for the all-UFL team, Jared Jones-Smith. St. Louis Battlehawks, Jared Jones-Smith, left tackle. Buddy, good for you. Good for you. You had a shit season last year. Coming back and being the all-UFL tackle, bang-up job. The other one is Bobby Evans from the Arlington Renegades. The guards for the all-UFL team, Zach Johnson from the Birmingham Stallions, Cole Liavo from the San Antonio Brahmas. Hard. I don't have an opinion. My opinion is that I don't have one. The center for the all-UFL team. Who could that be? We're seeing a big shift in. I specifically, I'm skewed because I'm an Eagles guy and Jason Kelsey is my king. But we're seeing a shift in how teams are using their centers. And if there was a UFL team that has a center that's a little bit undersized and gets out and does really good blocking downfield, who would that? Oh, is that Mike Panashuk? Mike Panashuk is the all-UFL center. Go off, King. Go off. Look at that, Mike Panashuk. We got an offensive line with 2 all-UFL players. Damn right. Look at that. Mike Panashuk, all UFL center. Love that. So, to recap that, it's Adrian Martinez at quarterback, Jake Sailors at running back, Hakeem Butler, Dawood Davis, Marcus Sims at wide receiver, Jace Sternberger at tight end, Jared Jones-Smith, Bobby Evans at tackle, Zach Johnson and Cole Liavo at guard, and then Mike Panashuk at center. The defensive line, all UFL team is Carlos Davis from the Stallions, Daniel Wise from the Panthers. I don't have an argument with that. I don't think there's any, like, none of the Battlehawks interior defensive linemen have been necessarily standouts like LaCale London and who was the other guy last year? They were good, but we haven't exactly had a menace in the middle of the line there. So defensive line are those 2 guys. The edge/outside linebacker, Chris Odom from the Houston Roughnecks, Breland Speaks, Michigan Panthers. No Pita Talmoy-Penu or Travis Feeney on that list, which is kind of a bummer. Pita Talmoy-Penu did have a really good start to the season, but that's what I said earlier this week. The book might be out on him with him just getting pushed back behind the behind the pocket, behind the quarterback. Is the quarterback is the word that I couldn't remember. Quarterback. You're right. I am dumb. I apologize for telling you to fuck yourself earlier. So no Travis Feeney or Pita Talmoy-Penu. But Chris Odom and Breland Speaks are good. Like they've been notably better than either Pita or Travis. Inside linebacker Tavante Beckett from San Antonio Brahmas and your guy Willie Harvey from the St. Louis Battlehawks. Willie Harvey, again, leading I talked about this yesterday on the stat thing. If you didn't listen to that, Willie Harvey leads the UFL in total tackles by 3. He has 78. So the next closest person is 75. So, yeah, Willie Harvey, guy plays very well, gets in the backfield. Teams pick on him in coverage, but he is in coverage, and he does relatively well. Had a few missed interceptions, but he does get some tips, too. Tip passes lead to some interceptions. No Mike Rose on that. Mike Rose was hurt for a good chunk of the season. You get somebody who's hurt like that, and they don't get as much stuff on the field. There was no chance that the Battlehawks were going to end up getting both linebackers is another thing. Willie Harvey is did I say Travis Feeney as a linebacker? I meant Mike Rose. If I said Travis Feeney, I can't remember. I say a lot of words. I meant Mike Rose would be the other one, but he was hurt. So Willie Harvey is the inside linebacker, one of the inside linebackers on the All-UFL team. Cornerbacks on the All-UFL team, DeAndre Baker from the DC Defenders, Nate Brooks from the Michigan Panthers, and Ajene Harris from the Arlington Renegades. Brandon Sebastian would have been a person that would be able to make it on this list, but again, hurt, IR, out for the season, and that happened a couple weeks ago. Didn't get the full 10-game thing that he could have had, the 10-game sample that he could have had. Safety, Ka-KAW from the Michigan Panthers. He's good. I think that he'll end up getting a look at a training camp invite from an NFL team. And A.J. Thomas from the Birmingham Stallions. Again, Birmingham's defense, although they did have a defensive coordinator change, that means that they don't think that it's the players. A.J. Thomas has been playing well. Quinterio Cole probably could have made it on there. I would have liked to see a Quinterio Cole. Cam Harris also has a shitload of interceptions, too. You could make an argument for either of those guys, although Cam Kelly also, a guy did not start the season. Ben DeLuca did. But we talked about that. So the defense, again, interior defensive line is Carlos Davis and Daniel Wise. Edge is Chris Odom and Breland Speaks. Inside is Tavante Beckett and Willie Harvey. Cornerback DeAndre Baker, Nate Brooks, and Ajene Harris. Safety is Ka-KAW and A.J. Thomas. So only one Battlehawk on the All-UFL defensive team. For a defense that has been playing, all in all, I'd say that the defense played well this year. But that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys so far. Five Battlehawks are on this All-UFL team. Now for special teams, you knew it was going to be Jake Bates as the All-UFL kicker, just because the 64-yarder, and he's hit 3 60-yard field goals this season. So you knew that it was going to be him. He hasn't had as many makes as Andre Schmidt. That would have been Andre Schmidt's claim to this title, would be the makes and everything like that. But Jake Bates, killer leg, great story for him. So he's the All-UFL kicker. All-UFL punter is Marquette King from the Arlington Renegades. Sure. He's good. He's always been good. There was no Daniel Whelan for him to compete with this year. Daniel Whelan, the now Packers punter. He was the punter for the DC Defenders last year. He was leaps and bounds the best. I would say that the wing guy, the punter for the Brahmas, who threw a touchdown, a fake punt touchdown to a center in week 1. He might have been able to make it up there, but I honestly haven't been paying attention to his leg that awful much. Long snapper, Jordan Ober from the Panthers. And, all right, I guess. Sure. I don't know how you, I don't know how you grade that. Honestly, that's been one thing that I've always been, confused about is long snappers, but there's got to be an All-UFL or an All-Pro long snapper, and it's Jordan Ober. Good for you, Jordan Ober. That is literally the first time I've ever seen your name. Not an insult, but it's just funny. What was his name? Ryan Matheson from the Battlehawks. He played 2 days after his dad died. What about that? That's grit. Return specialist. Is Chris Rowland, the DC Defenders kick returner. He had the only kick return touchdown this year, and it happened in Week 10. So I get it. and Darius Shepard got hurt and then didn't take all of the kick return snaps and everything like that. It would have been cool if he would have gotten that. But okay, Chris Rowland, sure. Last year, Darius Shepard was the All XFL Special Teams Player of the Year. It's going to be Jake Bates this year because of those kicks. That's just how that's going to end up going. So special teams, again, Jake Bates, kicker, Marquette King, punter, long snapper is Jordan Ober, and return specialist is Chris Rowland. And then what does the end of this press conference or this press release say? 2024 UFL playoffs begin this weekend. We already know that. So yeah, that's what we got. This is going to be a shorter one because I've talked your ears off for the past 2 days. Like I said, we got the numbers. The numbers, again, if you want the numbers, if you forgot the numbers, open up your phone right now. I'm going to do this with you so I know exactly how long it takes. Open up your phone, go to your Notes app. Go to your Notes app right now. Open a new app or a new note and write 3 teams going for a 3-game sweep. Return. I'd press the return button, and I'm going to write 16 for 9 or 16 and 9 total. So that is 64%. And then I'm going to hit return again for the next line. 14 and 5 at home. And that is 73%. So now that you have that in your phone, anytime you see that, and if you just want to drop that on people, you're gonna seem real smart. You might seem autistic too, but you're gonna seem real smart. You're gonna see people are gonna be like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive that's like that. So yeah, there you go. Look at you guys. Look at me potentially doing you a favor. You're gonna either really impress somebody with that number, with those numbers, or you're going to weird them out. And if you want to credit me with those numbers, be like, yeah, this guy that I watch his bullshit about the Battlehawks. He's the one who told me that. If you wanted to do that and just be like, yeah, his name's Jake. I don't know, funny-ish. He says some things and gets himself in hot water sometimes just by talking. You should check him out. It's at Solid Pod on YouTube or Solid on Spotify or Apple. If you don't want to listen to it, it's totally fine too. It's a Battlehawks podcast, and it's a very small niche of people that he's talking to, and the people that actually do listen to his show, we're pretty well engaged with him, and we like his stuff, but not a whole lot of people listen to it because it's supplemental UFL coverage. But yeah, no, check them out if you want to. If you guys want to say that, that's cool. Hell yeah, do that. If you record that, tweet a video of that or the audio of that to me. It's Jake L. Beckman on Twitter. Do that, and I'll be happy. I'll Venmo you like something. It's 69 cents is what I'll Venmo you. But that's one thing you could do, or if you just want to take credit for those numbers yourself, like if you drop those numbers, the 64 and the 73% numbers, if you just drop those by yourself, and you just like, yeah, I know those. I respect the hustle. It's like it's mean to me specifically, but you know, I'm not gonna be mad at you. It's a grit grind. It's a grift. It's a grift. It's a grift is what you're doing, and I have no problem with that. You're impressing people, and sure, cool. All right, thank you guys very much for listening to this episode of Solid. It's a shorter one. Go Birds, go Battlehawks, go Ironbirds. Ka-KAW is the law. No matter what you say to anybody, they're going to be able to translate that to, oh, this guy's a Battlehawks fan. Like my neighbor was his kid was mowing the lawn the other day, and he almost ran, like the lawn was pretty high, and I saw that he was like listening, had his AirPods in, and he was listening to something, and I saw that he wasn't paying attention. He was about ready to run over their hose. So I waved him down. I was like, hey, you got hose? I don't know if you see the hose there. And he goes, oh, thanks. But honestly, obviously, what he's like, oh, that guy likes the Battlehawks. That's why he said that. So thank you guys very much for listening. I will talk to you tomorrow and about something. It's going to be a surprise to both you and me. Talk to you later.